Here are your partnering details for the basic, also known as home base.
So we're going to start off with just kind of solidifying what's happening through the parts of the foot. So I'm going to do this with my partner. Followers, you'll notice that as I step to the side, I'm going to go ball flat. Then I draw my left foot into a third position. Now I'm going to go to the left foot, ball flat, and I draw my right foot into the third position. And you'll notice as I'm drawing it in, the heel is not touching the ground. It's actually just the ball of the foot. So one more time, I have ball flat, ball only, ball flat, ball only.
So leaders, we use the same parts of the foot that the followers do. And when we do this, and I'm going to show you very quickly, it is going to be ball flat, bring it into the ball. Then again, it is ball flat and bring to the ball. So now we'll do this with the partner. And I want you to recognize that I'm not picking my foot off the floor as I'm doing this. So instead of going move and step like this in big high steps, leave the foot connected to the floor. It slides over, ball flat. This one slides into the third and it's just the ball. Then we go back the other direction, ball flat, and then ball.
Yes, and as one final thought, that third position is important. The closer we get, the less we want to actually bump into each other. So you'll notice that if we do this from this angle and we're in a first position, if he's bending his knee and I'm bending my knee, somebody's shin is going to win, and it may not be mine, right? So we don't want to bump into each other, and just the simplicity of taking both of our feet into a third keeps us enough of a distance that even as we get closer, we won't have to worry about actually colliding into one another. So a very valuable tip there. So now let's discuss lanes. The idea is that we are going to share lanes, and we're going to show you what we mean. I'm going to actually turn my back to you so that you can see this. I technically have an inner lane with my right leg, and I have an outer lane with my left. He also has an inner lane and an outer lane as well. So you'll see that we actually have 4 separate lanes, and we are kind of staggered through those. So we are not, I have my own 2 lanes over here, and he's got his 2 lanes there. This is actually an outside partner position, so this is not going to be our default. Also, I don't want to be smack dab in front of my leader, because that's how we do it in the South. There is no smack dabbing in front of one another. We really want to think that we're kind of slightly offset. I'd like to say that it is right side to right side, or right rib to right rib. I have a passenger window, so to speak, and he's got the driver window. That's incredibly important if we're traveling around on a really crowded floor. So now we're going to take a look at the dance frame.
So leaders, from our part, what we're going to do is we're going to create what's called a pocket using our right side. So to create this, what's going to happen is it's going to be more of a rounded position within our arm as opposed to a straight position. And we don't want to put it out either. We are creating a pocket, and this is where the follower will move into this area and connect with us, and we become one, or unison. So the way this works is I'm going to take the palm of my hand, I'm going to come underneath, I'm going to find her shoulder blade, the bottom of the shoulder blade. I'm going to take the palm of my hand, and I'm going to wrap around the bottom of that shoulder blade. I don't want to get on top. I don't want to get down low. I want to find it and connect with it right across the middle of the palm, not the fingers. It is the palm. The fingers are nice and relaxed. We're going to take this elbow. We're going to expand it a little bit so that we can create the pocket. This allows us to not be in front of each other, but to be a little offset. Now, we're going to have a tendency, and I'll turn this way so that you can see it. We're going to have a tendency to want to put the arm down. This doesn't create an accurate frame and doesn't allow me to connect with my partner very well. So instead, we want to expand that out into that rounded circle, okay? If we do this, this allows the follower to be able to connect with us appropriately. Now, from this position, without this hand, I now can lead my follower. So if I go through the basic, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is completely led from the right hand that connects to her shoulder blade. The left hand is not leading any of that. However, we are connected with the left hand as well. So I'm going to turn to the side here so that you can see this. Leaders, bring your hand up, and not a high five, turn it to the side, so not here, but there. Curve the fingers. She puts her hand in that. We curve the fingers, but we do not squeeze. We relax the thumb and the fingers around the follower's hand. You'll notice my hand is outside here. We're not high-fiving, okay? We're offset into our position. Now, as far as the height of this hand, we don't want to put it really high. We don't want to bring it down here low. We want to put it right in the middle. We're going to keep that expanded with our right side, and our left side is more casual. We do not need to expand out to more of a ballroom frame because this is not formally dancing here. We're going to relax that and bring it down ever so slightly, but do maintain framework within this right arm. We don't want to let this one fall down. So this one's connected and it's nice and rounded. This one is more relaxed and down a little bit lower, okay? From this position, when we lead our follower, we want to make sure that we're not trying to lead from the left hand. So we don't need any pushing and pulling. Keep this right in the middle and relaxed. And now we frame through the right and we lead her that way. So it would be again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one final thought about this. I want you to look at the spacing. So what's happening here is I'm not getting really far away from her and I'm not getting up and close with her in this position. We're going to have a nice rounded frame and pocket, and that gives us the space to take our steps to do our movements, okay? So this is the framing for the leader.
Now, for us followers, we are going to fit into that pocket. I like to think of it as my shoulders being relaxed and down. Notice I said relaxed, not stressed. Relaxed and down is actually giving my leader the steering wheel, right? So I want my leader to have the steering wheel. If I turn at a different angle, we are very tempted to kind of be in postures like this, especially if what you do during the day puts you in a more forward posture. We don't want to be here. We want to keep the vertical posture. We've talked about our blocks of weight and that idea of spinal alignment. So we want to maintain that. You'll notice that as I'm going through this, I am giving that steering wheel, but this hand right here is actually going to be rolled towards my leader, and I'm going to take the base of my thumb and press it more to where the shoulder and the bicep area meet. If we go to the side for a moment, you may be tempted to wrap it behind. This is not wrong. It is just the idea that if my leader at this point goes to lead me to a turn, I'd have to move it very quickly. Or what most of the time happens, I get led into a turn that I didn't know was coming, and there it is. So we believe in safety first, right? So rotator cuffs, I know all my students who hear it in the class over and over again. I don't ever stop with it, but rotator cuffs is the #1 partner dance related injury. I know knees are kind of in there, but that's not actually the first one. You could see why that would be. So our preference on this is to keep the hand slightly in front so that if my leader gives me a turn, my arm slides right out and I'm not going to get caught. Remember, don't want to get caught. So we're going to show you, this is how we do it here. When we don't prefer something and we really don't want you to try to do it like this, we always give you the do not do sign, right? So do not do this. This is not our preference, because if he goes to turn me, I'm getting caught. And you can hopefully see how painful that looks, so that we want to stay away from it.
So those are your partnering details for the basic, also known as home base.